How's it going, guys? Coming at you for another Indigenous Minded YouTube journal video, number 64. Pulling into Kalama, Washington. Currently knocked out over here. On our way to Oregon. Currently on vacation right now, PTO. Heading to Woodburn, my hometown, to see my father, his wife, and my little brother. Kind of this past week I've been on elective. It's been great. This is my OMM, Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine elective. Unfortunately, this block I wasn't able to go to Puyallup Tribal Health Authority. That was part of the plan, to do some more OMM and work in that residency a little bit and program to kind of see what they do and take some of those skills hopefully to my clinic. But I was able to make those days independent health study. I'm working on studying for my next board exam, level 3 or step 3 people call it, but it's level 3 for DOs. And doing a lot of podcasts. Been listening to like the AFP podcast, Family Med podcast. Been doing questions on my ComBank. Just to kind of get ready for the test. And those are kind of the big things. And do some reading as well, but review a lot of OMM topics. So this week, it was from last week too. So I had self-guided study Monday, Tuesday. So the other thing that I am able to do is work in the sports med clinic, the Swedish musculoskeletal sports med clinic in Bellevue, which has been great because there's a lot of DOs that practice there. The DO I was working with originally went to PCOM in Philadelphia, did a PM&R, residency and a sports med fellowship, and actually met her last year when I started residency at Cherry Hill, because she showed us the type of injections they actually like to do and they're trained to do is with the knee anyways, is like a more proximal, like suprapatella ultrasound guided, which is interesting because I haven't seen that done really other like primary clinics. And I worked with another resident or another attending that was an MD that graduated from the Cherry Hill program and did the sports med fellowship, which was really cool to see, and had some interesting presentations with like Achilles tendinopathies, did some knees, some SI joint injections, just kind of really reviewing that anatomy and the presentations. It's been great for me to kind of think about and think through. And let's see. And there was a med student actually I got to connect with that's from the same medical school I went to, A.T. Still University, but in Arizona, but is located at one of our community health centers here in Washington. So that was great to meet that student. She's a third year, kind of see where she's at, offer my advice, and just thinking about family med, things like that. And I actually been in contact with, I think, a few of the people, the students from that specific site, because I think one is going to be doing a sub-I with us soon, possibly, and another that I'm working with to do a presentation during Native American Heritage Month. So it's great. Working with different sports med docs, good to see kind of like how does that fill into like what I do with OMM, like slightly different, but things that I could probably do in my clinic, like my continuity clinic, as far as like injections and different exercises, and working with like physical therapists. So that was really good to kind of review, and that's what this block is meant for me, to kind of review OMM and musculoskeletal and kind of a little everything. But realizing OMM is not just musculoskeletal, thinking about viscerosomatics and everything like that. As far as like the treatments we do, it's for other ailments too, not just for like, back pain or radiating like nerve pain type things necessarily. So it's been good review. But yeah, so I had that Tuesday, and also had didactics as part of it. And let's see what else. We talked about, actually during didactics, a little bit about musculoskeletal pain, different areas of pain during pregnancy, and that was great to kind of talk about. And I know one of my other colleagues, DO colleagues, were in this program. We're thinking about doing a presentation. Might be able to kind of come up with something soon, hopefully, and maybe present some topics. And let's see, I had clinic Wednesday, which was pretty busy. Was there like all day, did a lot of prenatal, did a well child visit, that was awesome. Had some like walk-in type things that, yeah, I ended up doing some OMM. Thursday was, I went back to the Swedish spine clinic again. It was interesting, like seeing like Achilles tendinopathies and like different exercises, but also thinking about like ruptures and thinking about one that actually presented like it might have been a gout flare, which was kind of interesting because the doc was trying to get some fluid out and it was kind of unable to. There was some fluid in the region, but nothing was able to like be aspirated very well, even with the ultrasound. So could be very well like be a gout flare, and that's one of the things we're thinking about, and that's something definitely I see commonly. Friday clinic was pretty busy in the morning. It was mostly my patients. Telehealth, one walk-in that ended up turning into like an OMM visit, which was great because thought it was going to be like right hip pain needing x-ray, and turned out to be like groin pain, and OMM really worked well. Giving some good like stretches to give. One of the sites that we have that's pretty quick is like sports advisory, and like having a PDF to give I think is great. Handouts to give, because I think patients forget most of what we talk about in visits. Having something to take home and work on I think is great. We also have like a few of our books and procedure books that have things that we can copy to. Had a kid that I'm kind of connected with. I'm building some rapport. That's been seeing him now as follow-up for obesity, and just trying to give him and his family like good things to try to implement at home, and maybe some dietary things to change. The exercise is actually not too bad. It's been working out pretty well, but diet is number one. And given his size and his family history, we're actually going to do like screening for like cholesterol, diabetes, because he had some of the skin findings like acanthosis nigricans, which is interesting. Finding to see on skin, a lot of times it's like darkening of the skin, and that can be a sign of glucose intolerance or diabetes. But hoping to keep seeing him and seeing hopefully more changes. And then in the afternoon I was walk-in, which was usually really busy and pretty wild for clinics sometimes, especially Friday afternoon. And it was busy. I had like I think like 8 people waiting for me, but I got through them pretty quickly. And as a team, we all kind of worked through things with patients. A lot of them are new, and getting other resources available to them. Saw a few kids with like a swollen lymph node, like cat scratch disease. Refilled some antibiotics for some people that are planning to come back, and treating like UTIs. Like a lot of like skin complaints, like eczema, allergic dermatitis. But yeah, so it was good. It actually turned out really well. But yeah, I was just trying to prep for the week this week, so I was going to work on like notes and like studying. I've got some studying in, but I'm having trouble with like logging in with my stuff at work, which can be a problem, trying to get my notes done, things like that. But I'll have to come back to it when I can, when they're able to kind of reset. With like my clinic, I think IT is only available a certain time, and weekends is not usually during that time. So if you can't get in, you can't get in probably till Monday, and that's unfortunate, but it's part of it. I think those patients were all stable. I was able to get them settled and have good follow-up plans, but there's just always areas to try to improve on and grow. And I think as a clinic, we're making strides. And maybe in some of those areas will be suggestions I can make too, but there is ways and backups if I needed to. I can contact someone to kind of cover things. Same thing as like going on vacation. I could have someone cover like my inbox. There's different ways to like kind of operate and like logistics like that. But for me, planning to study this break because I have this test coming up, and I'll want to make sure I'm covering my inbox for a lot of my patients. Especially there's certain patients that I'm starting to build a relationship with, especially my OMM patients that probably want to directly talk to me, or I'm one of the only providers I am the only provider at my clinic that does that. So things like that. But yeah, so now we're on our way to Oregon, and one of our first stops is here in Kalama. And I think I probably mentioned in previous videos like the history of Kalama, and it's an important area for us and the mission we represent and what we're trying to do. So yeah, and the weather's good, it's nice, staying safe, and yeah, and planning to head back to Oregon and all of Oregon, Eastern Oregon, back to our old undergrad to visit, and the reservation to see some of my other family, our other nieces and nephews, so that'll be good. Keep it mission minded, keep it indigenous minded. All right. Aloha.